Testing 1, 2. Okay. We're recording. Everyone, welcome to the 31 Days of Dread intro episode. Overall, this is episode 307 of AKAPAD's Audio Audacity, and I'm your host, Peter A. DeLuca, another known as the Pop Culture Pope, another known as Cheesesteak, another known as the superior horror-minded individual. Right, if there's someone talking about horror that knows more than me, anyway, let's get through that intro. Before we get started, everyone, let me sell you something. Trial by Fire. It's my comic book. It's available right now on Indiegogo. Link in the description. If you dig 90s style artwork and superhero science fiction, this is the book for you. Check it out, and I will see you on the printed comic page. Welcome back. So I normally hate botching the intro. But, I kind of just said the hell with it. Only because the 31 Days of Dread is literally the most stressful, it's part of the most stressful month in my life that you can imagine. And it happens every year. This is year 4. And oh my God, just thinking back to how all of this started, even the podcast, even that, we're like 4 years deep into this, idea that I had, and the idea kind of was the origin of this whole podcast really, it stretches to one of my friends. We're on rough terms right now, but it's tough even talking about some of that stuff right now, just because my father recently passed away. And, you immediately start reevaluating everything, especially once you're, you start reevaluating everything, especially when someone you're very close with, as I was with my father, just suddenly gets taken away. But look, beyond that, this podcast started as almost as a project for someone else. And that person in my life, I thought had a wonderful ambition, drive, imagination, at a young age, had a fire in his belly, all these things I admired. And at the time, this podcast even had a different episode title, then it had a different name. So it didn't work out, but along the way, I created the 31 Days of Dread because he was into horror. And I figured, that was a way for him to come to the studio and kind of force him to record every single day until he just got good and comfortable with it. So anyway, so we're here now, and we're 4 years into worshiping everything horror. I'm going to go through every single movie that we're going to discuss and why. Now, this intro episode is also new. This is the second year I've done the intro episode, and I gave it a lot of thought. And this is the first year where I have every single movie drafted out, programmed out, and I'm knee deep in recording. I'm way ahead of the drops, so there's not going to be me scrambling around, rushing, doing things like I did for the past 3 years, because previously I was dropping 3 episodes a day just to catch up within October. I will promise you, outside of today, today is essentially day 1, because I'm dropping the intro episode and the day 1 episode, which is Stephen King's It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. Revelation there. But no, if you want more about this and maybe connect with some of the people involved with these movies, if they're on social media, I tag them when I post on Twitter. I don't echo all my posts like I do, like I previously did. So what's on Facebook will be different from Twitter. Twitter will be different from what's on Instagram. But you can find me everywhere. Just search AKAPAD on Twitter, AKAPAD, Instagram, AKAPAD69. And you can find me AKAPAD, I believe 69 too, on Facebook. But yeah, so the big idea about this too, as the years went on, the 31 Days of Dread really became a study of horror. It became like this surgical procedure of mine where, like originally it was just like, what can I do? What can I talk about? And the format now is outside of the first episode. Everything is grouped. Everything is grouped by 2. So we're working within themes. Now, this makes the programming all the more difficult, all the harder. That's what she said. Give me 1 second. I need some coffee. I'm back. But yeah, it makes the programming so much more interesting. But it's challenging. It's fun. And look, this year, I'm even going to go through what was left out, because I watched a few movies that are not making the cut because grouping them wasn't so simple. So here we go. All right, let's go through the 31 Days of Dread. So as I already said, day 1 is going to be Stephen King's It. Now, I am promoting this as the only epic horror movie ever. For the last day, I wanted day 31 to echo this, to be like a bookend, and I really couldn't find a movie. I found a documentary, but I couldn't find a movie that echoed the epicness of It. So there you go. I mean, it deserves to be number 1. And I just really enjoy just watching those movies. Just really into it. Day 1, It. Day 2, we're doing serial killers. The House That Jack Built. And then day 3 is Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Day 4 is H.P. Lovecraft, The Color of Space, starring Nicolas Cage, and the classic Day 5, From Beyond. Day 6 begins restaurants. So we're doing Drive-Thru, and then we're doing day 7 is Blood Diner. We're doing The Invisible Man. We're doing the classics. We're doing the icons. Day 8 is The Invisible Man, the most recent one, the Blumhouse movie. And then day 9, are you ready? Are you ready for some Kevin Bacon? Hollow Man. Sticking with the icons. Day 10, Child's Play. Day 11, Child's Play, the modern day remake / update. Day 12. Okay, we're taking one story, 2 interpretations. Maximum Overdrive. Day 13 is Trucks. It's a Stephen King short story, Maximum Overdrive, and my sister and I have been watching this movie since we were kids. We love Maximum Overdrive. It's also, I believe, the only movie directed by one Stephen King. Day 13 and 14 is Creature Feature. No, day 14 and 15, Creature Feature. Frogs and Hiss. Day 16 and 17, I always wanted to do, like a 1-2 pairing. Movie, then sequel. So it's going to be Sinister and Sinister 2. That brings us to day 17. Day 18, because this movie blew me away. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Oh my God, it's literally like a UHF. I completely loved that movie. I had to pair it with The Addams Family. Day 20 is Blackula, Vampire, and Vampire in Brooklyn at 21. I haven't seen either of those. I haven't watched them yet. I can't wait to watch both of those movies. Day 22 and 23, more Creature Feature, but it's alligator or crocodile. Lake Placid, then we have Crawl. So day 23, Crawl, I've heard good things about Crawl. I'm excited to watch it. Day 25, day 24 and 25, we're back to the icons. It's Texas Chainsaw 2 and Texas Chainsaw 3D. I've only seen segments of 2. I never finished that movie. So I'm very curious. That's the one with Dennis Hopper. And I didn't even know there was such a thing as Texas Chainsaw 3D. So that just had to make it to the list. We're doing Cars. Day 26 and 27. We're doing The Car. Long time bucket list movie for me. And then we're doing John Carpenter, Stephen King's Christine, which is the greatest car horror movie ever. Day 28 and 29, we're doing more like 80s schlock. So it's going to be Ice Cream Man and Night of the Demons. 2 movies long on my list. Now, we're ending it with back-to-back documentaries. Every single year, I go back and forth about documentaries because I want to add them, I don't want to add them. These are documentaries about the horror, world. So we have Never Sleep Again, Nightmare on Elm Street. I believe it should be 2.5 hours. And then we're doing the most epic horror movie documentary ever, The Crystal Lake Chronicles Part 1 and Part 2. I'm going to be watching both of these and jotting down notes and little cool things and just running them through with you. Very similar to the Empire of Dreams I did for Star Wars a little bit ago. And that's it. Day 31. Like, we're done. So here's the movies that I've already watched that were left out. Babysitter. Sequel came out on Netflix. Mick G, watch both of those movies. They're fantastic. I love those movies so much. Holidays originally was going to be, it's a Seth Green. It originally was going to be paired with Babysitter. Couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Cam, C-A-M. It's like a the OnlyFans type horror movie. Good horror movie. Nice. Very cool. Lots of hot babes, too. Go watch it. And then we have the Nicolas Cage masterpiece, Mom and Dad. It broke my heart not being able to... You will see the color Outer Space, part of the H.P. Lovecraft block. I begin that episode just so annoyed that I cannot put Mom and Dad into this run because Nicolas Cage, I mean, he's modern day horror movie trilogy. We have Mandy, The Color Out of Space, and Mom and Dad. But all three of those movies are wonderful masterpieces, perfect horror movies. His performances in each one is fantastic. And that's everyone. That's it. So get ready. Day 1, it will drop very soon. And then we're in horror movie mode. Now, here's the cool thing. Episode numbering stays, but everything will be tagged day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 of the 31 days of horror. Some of the picture thumbnails might say like the 4th year, stuff like that. Okay, so everything is to be branded 31 days of horror, but we're still keeping a normal episode count. Anyway, everyone, I love you. Go out there, create something, rock and roll, and just swing for the fences. I love you, everyone. Goodbye. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me for the post-credit sequence, but no. Every episode for the foreseeable future is going to be dedicated to my father, Tony DeLuca, Tony Concrete Hands, Tony Iron Feet. We had a lot of nicknames for the Big T. Why? Because he was a fun, energetic, amazing person that, hey, he was a good friend too. So a lot of what that happens there is because of him. He loved watching movies with us. We watched a lot of movies. The last movie in the theaters I saw with him was Rise of Skywalker. Okay, that's what it is. I so wish it could have been a better movie, but no, Tony, I love you, rock and roll, and guess what? We're doing this for you.